Go, we're live!
Hi.
Right,
okay. Sorry,
I shouldn't look so surprised, should I, when it actually works? Morning, everybody. Now, this has the potential to be a classic because what we're doing here is we are with the wonderful DCTR people. Tom and Becky, how are you? How are you today? You okay?
Very good, thank you.
Very good, thank you.
Thanks
I'm very excited because today you are launching DCVR, which we're going to come into in a moment. We'll talk about in more detail. I'm going to do, I think Salesforce call it a safe harbor statement at the beginning. Anything that goes wrong today is purely on my head because I am being a complete fuckwit and having technical issues. So that it's nothing to do with you guys, is it, basically? You've been very polite and you've been waiting and saying, yes, Bailey, come on. But hopefully we think we're there, don't we, guys? We think
so, yeah.
Should be good. If this works with Whaley, it will work with 100% of the world. So we know that.
It's the Whaley test.
Right. That was my preamble. That was my. First of all, fantastic to have you back on as ever here. You guys are very excited. I'm very excited about your new release, your new enhancement. You can't stop enhancing you crafty buggers at the moment. Tell me why I should get it, why we should be getting excited about what you're showing us today.
Cool. So first of all, hi guys, I'm Tom, director at Doctor, and Bex as well is one of our designers, and she looks after our DCVR stream. So the reason you should get excited is because we're going to show you Kerfuffle World, and this is something that we've built for Kerfuffle. It is a DCVR product. So what we offer within the DCVR umbrella is a VR CGI walkthrough, but it's more than that. It's interactive, it's immersive, it includes videos, it can have links to websites, Matterport tours, everything in the world effectively that we can code into it. And we've got 3 products. So one is walking around an off-plan development or a house, so something that's not been built. Whilst people could create a normal still image CGI of a house or an animation, actually this allows the user to walk through it first person and interact with the property, changing materials, watching videos about it, looking at pictures and all of that kind of thing. The other 2 products are virtual marketing suites. So that is bringing the suite into the virtual world. So in other words, we can talk about the location and the materials, and you can see the little 3D model in the middle of the room like you would in reality, but it's virtual reality. And the third thing is estate agent offices. So we know that there's this hybrid thing going on at the moment in the industry where a lot of people are working from home. So of course, lots of people are forced to, but equally, there are lots of people that work around the country, and there's this sort of virtual network. Well, we've created a branded space for those people to meet up in too. So I like to think it makes Zoom look like a dinosaur, which is something that I didn't think I'd be saying at the beginning of this year, because Zoom was fresh to me at the beginning of this year. That's how tech has moved on. So what we've done is created a Kerfuffle branded space. So you guys can use this ongoing on your website as an iframe. If you want meetings in it, if you want to meet suppliers and clients, it's yours to have fun with. And the cool thing is that we can update it ongoing with deals and bring the whole thing alive.
So that's the preamble. So that's, I mean, no, that's absolutely perfect the way you set it up. And look, seeing is believing, as they say. So much as we're testing my multitasking skills to the limit here, but just a couple of things. So first things first, apart from literally 2 seconds ago, I still haven't seen what we were about to go into. So this is the first time I'm basically seeing this like our viewers will be seeing it here. So very, very excited on that approach. And what I think I'm having problems with is I've heard a load of, obviously I've heard virtual reality, I've heard kind of Zoom, but I think what's going to be really interesting now to see the actual application of that, of what you're talking about, because there's no doubt at all, is it, people are they're all zoomed out, and as much as it genuinely is a fantastic business tool, it doesn't allow quite the level of connection that you'd hope for, would you? And it's no surprise to see people ordinarily by the end of the day even more knackered than usual when they've been on a series of Zoom things, and then of course Zoom by very definition they want you to know it's all about Zoom. what you've done here is bring the personalization back, the individuality back, isn't it? You spend all this time and money and energy marketing yourselves as being different to everybody else, and then really the first way that people meet you today, in many senses virtually, you just become this great character like everyone else on Zoom, don't you?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we can bring in your branding, we can bring in your logos, and even if you wanted your own domain, it can be hosted as your CNAME. So it can be a Kerfuffle CNAME. There's no mention of us either. So it's totally branded to you. The other thing I'd like to just get across is this isn't just a video tool. So actually, the application is similar to Matterport or iSpy from the point of view that people can walk around a property or an office or a virtual marketing suite without the meeting element. So you can share it to 1 million people, and there's no worry that 1 million people are going to walk in at the same time. So you create meetings within those scenes.
So how many, just talk us through the sort of logistics in terms of how many people you can have on board, and again, just reiterate the main driver for when you would imagine an estate agent would be using this.
Yeah, so I guess, so if it's, if your sales team are selling an off-plan development, something that doesn't exist, their option at the moment is to show images of it, is to show animations. And of course you can get VR tours, which traditionally are 360 hotspots. So there'll be CGI 360s. Now, what the sales team can do is actually host a meeting within the scene, as you'll see in a minute, as a bit of a video avatar, we call it. So in other words, you both have free movement to walk around, you both hear each other, and you can both see each other within something that doesn't exist, only virtually. So so that's, I guess, sort of the main element is you can still build that rapport. You can sell different aspects of that property. It's a really rich experience because you can still build a relationship within something that's full of content, gives the idea of space, gives the idea of lifestyle because you can play music at the same time if you really wanted to. It's just a really great novel experience for people, and the hope is that it really brings the whole property alive, and that's the case for virtual marketing suites. If you're a salesperson that wants to meet in a suite and talk about the whole development, then you can do that.
Yeah, the options are endless, aren't they? The fact that you can have a virtual marketing suite and have multiple houses to go in, it's almost, we called it an inception, because you can go into a model, into a model, into a model. So the world is your oyster. You can just go from anywhere. So
yeah, we don't know how deep you can go. Like if it's the Matrix, how many models can you go within? It's a bit
let me tell you, you can't go any deeper yet because you've already blown my mind. But I love the Inception one, because I'm looking. Look here, where I am, aren't I? I'm looking here behind me, and I've got my obviously green screen here. And the important thing to talk about is, whilst there are the VR elements in there, isn't it? It is the interactive elements of this that just takes it into a completely different space, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And the fact is, you don't have to have meeting calls, but you can still bring it alive with video textures and sounds and that kind of thing. So still someone walking around still doesn't have to feel sort of completely isolated and, just looking at pretty 360 images. Actually, you can bring the whole experience. And if your sales team wanted to record welcome messages when you walk in, if you want a branded video that you've created and you want to put that on one of the tellies as they're walking into that property or that virtual marketing suite, then that suddenly elevates it from just a normal CGI to something that is very, as I say, novel. I've never seen it before. So I'm quite excited by it.
So when did, obviously this is hot out the DCTR labs. How long have you guys been working on this? Was it literally something that you'd had in the kind of long-term development, or was it very much a baby of the lockdown?
Yeah, for us, it was a baby of the lockdown. So since really March, April, especially, Bex actually joined us this year at the beginning of lockdown, and Bex came with a lot of those skills. Welcome, Bex. Thanks for joining us. And she's really been a key to driving a lot of this. We built CGIs before, but we had never really ventured into the VR area until this year, and that's partly driven by consumers. So driven by, I think, a lot of our clients that were asking if this was something that we could could offer, but equally it's driven, I think, by consumer habit. So like I say, I used to hate Zoom, to be honest. I didn't have a clue. I didn't like video, and now it's second nature. And I guess we've sort of, I think if we had talked about this last year, we potentially would have thought it's just too far. It's not, people aren't going to get it, but I feel that
already now, aren't they?
I feel like that. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. What shall we have a look, guys? And again, the Simon Weil caveat. Although I pretend to be Whaley Wonka, the minute I touch technology, it explodes. So we're going to try this live now. Okay. So here we are. Hopefully, everybody can see this in the window there. And what I'm looking at is I've got Tom obviously there with your avatar there. Becky's a little bit further aside. I am seeing for the first time. I think that's a vending machine in the corner. So you've really tried to think what Simon Weil needs as he walks into the office. Okay.
This is a lot of fun.
And a bar. There's a bar.
There's a bar.
Okay.
So I guess what we could do for you, Whaley, is show you around.
Yeah.
Now, it's important to note that you can use this platform across all devices. So we're using it on our laptops at the moment with our mice, but you can also use your keyboard cursor keys. You can also use it on mobile, iPads, VR headsets. So it's cross-compatible.
Tom, I'm on a 3-year-old laptop here. It seems to be very responsive, though. I think you did mention though before is the one thing you do need to have is quite a robust broadband, isn't it? If you're going to be hosting these things.
Yeah, so it does like to suck it up. You know, with meetings, there's a lot going through at the moment. So we found that actually, if you're just walking through without a meeting, it's pretty fine. It's just when you've got a meeting, obviously you're going to drop out if there's an issue. And you have to come back into the room.
Sorry, one thing I should caveat there is that would be the case for whether you're using Teams or Zoom anyway. You know that you've got to have the most robust broadband, otherwise you get stuck in kind of like that mode.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun for all of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
If you want to click, if you look to your left, Whaley, you'll see that there's a little sign up here. So ignore the spelling mistake. We're going to correct that at the end of this. But so at the moment, you can actually, what we've done is a little welcome bar there for people. So if you want to click on one of those little eyes, you should see that it pops up a little iPhone, and you can actually link to your website at the moment. So you get to learn about, if you're an agent, it's just logging onto that. And
so I'm actually, one thing I'm taking straight away from this, so I don't know if the viewers can see, but I'm actually able to scroll down through that website as well. So if you had it on the right landing page or anything else there, you could literally showcase that as well to whoever was with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if you want to go straight ahead, Whaley, you'll see there's a little TV in front of you. So just use your cursor.
Yep.
Okay, and click play on the little TV, and you'll see that we've integrated.
Okay, so this is what you were talking about, Inception, TV within the TV.
So what you can have is you can have it automatically playing with no sound in the background as you walk around, so it creates a bit of movement. Or if it's got sound, then you can have those little stop, start, play buttons, and that's where you can have your welcome message if someone's there. So hopefully that's brought that alive a little bit. Now, if you want to come around, we've built a few more things for you, Simon. Just use your keyboard, probably the easiest thing. So we've got a book your Kerfuffle personal shopping experience to your left.
Wait.
On the iPad, yeah.
Can I click on it?
Yeah, you have to. Fingers crossed.
Excellent. So again, and that can be a different screen to where we were before, wasn't it? Is that right? Yeah. Yeah.
So it can all be coded in. These are separate triggers, and we can code anything in the world that you want to a degree. As I say, link to websites, link to YouTube, link to anything really. Now, try not to walk out the window like last time. I can't get back.
Good advice, thanks, Tom.
Now, just to say, if you want to walk around without having to worry about actually physically hitting the keyboard, if you click on Kerfuffle Lounge in your top right,
Kerfuffle. So you've got all the rooms up there, haven't you, as well?
So take you to that scene without having to worry about.
Look at that! What a Tom, you've really disappointed me now. I've got to have this office.
We weren't sure about the colour, you know. We weren't sure.
Yeah. Look, I don't know if the missus will allow it, but this is. Oh, look, there's the team.
So we've got the team on the left here, and you know, this is where you could, for example, they could have little videos of themselves, welcoming themselves to one of your clients or your suppliers, and they can, you know, if you wanted any of that content, we can integrate it really, really easily.
I've got to ask first straight off. So Becky, you're responsible for the magic that happens here. Obviously, Tom's like me; he sits in the ivory tower and takes all the glory. But yeah. We haven't even gone around any of this yet, and I'm just wowed at the detail and the. Well, yeah, it is. It feels like you're obviously in that Inception world you were talking about. How long have you been working away on this? Is this something that takes months to put together? Is it a matter of weeks? What are we looking at in terms of for somebody to have this kind of thing replicated for their own business and indeed development sites and things like that?
Yeah, to be honest, we've started creating a strategy to show our clients how long it would take. So we actually have different stages. So we have like 1, 2, and 3. But in summary, it should only take about 2 to 3 weeks. So we can actually get as much bespoke objects as possible, and we can make any building, which is such a relief that we can just have anything that you want. So we have different stages. The first stage is just a white model. So we would show you this office and show you, okay, we've got the telephone box in the corner, we've got this here, we've got the bar on the right, what do you think? And then that's what's nice is that you can actually, give us some comments and adjustments before we actually give you the final result. So it's good to kind of bring you through the process so you can just have it as bespoke as you like, which is really nice.
That's great. So you literally, in this world, it's overdone, isn't it? How many people say it? Literally, your imagination roams free, but scarily, that's true in this world, isn't it?
Oh yeah, this was the most fun I've done in a model. I loved this. I love doing it. So thank you.
Well, I'm trying not to focus on it, but there's now 2 whales in the house. I can see over here we've got a recording studio where a certain look at him. He's fantastic. That's
there he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I go in there?
A video texture that just also plays in the background. It just adds a bit of movement to the scene. The other important thing to add to Bex is that what Bex was mentioning with the 2 to 3 week, this is our kind of average turnaround for building something completely bespoke. It's not 100% 2 to 3 weeks build time. That's how it fits into our pipeline. The other thing to say is that we can reskin things that already exist fairly quickly. Okay. So, for example, we actually had created this office space for our own virtual world when we launched, and we just rebranded it as You. And because of that, you're talking it's only a day or 2 really just to rebrand it to You. So actually, that part of this kind of the process can be a lot quicker. And the same goes for things like virtual marketing suites. Once you put your first model, if you had 3 or 4 developments over the next 6 months, each time we reskin it is actually a lot quicker. So it's a lot cheaper for your 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th time that we create them. A lot quicker because we don't have to physically model the walls and the flooring and everything. Okay. That's the bit that takes time because we actually build them in SketchUp. So they're fairly quick, but it still does take time. It's all handmade.
And what you were referring to earlier, Tom, is eventually people, if they wanted to, let's say I wanted to change the colour of the curtains or the roof, things like that, you're going to be able to literally have that ability to kind of choose your own surroundings, yeah?
Well, so I think in the longer term, in terms of that kind of element, that will come. Right now, what you can do, if you'd like to click on the paint thing right behind you, actually, if you turn around.
That
so you can change materials and you can change colours. So if you want,
I can make it all pink.
So if you want it, so lots of different colours, and the same goes. I'm going to go around here, so don't worry, I'm not disappearing. but I'm just gonna. Have we got a floor one, Bex? I thought there was one there. Maybe we haven't got one anymore. Do we have a floor one?
I'm not sure on this one actually.
Okay. Don't worry. So you can change flooring, for example. You can change the colour of the sofas. You can change the colour of the walls, the ceilings. So materials and colours.
And I can change my team. No, only joking.
You could actually. If you had a different picture to swap it to, if you really wanted to, you could. So you can change all those elements basically.
So on that then, so very easily there, I say very easily, like I'm an expert and Becky's just holding her head going, what you want about? But actually, if you were in a business and you wanted to use this for collaboration elements there, nice. But what do people do? Actually, I have heard people with Zoom, they have those water cooler meetings, don't they? Just to catch up. This is a lovely way. And you could have the sales meeting room with us up on there, account managers, all of that kind of stuff, couldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, behind you, we've put on a Kerfuffle deal wall, for example. And, you can imagine that being a list of all the properties that you had, or if it's stuff that's live now, or if it's new homes, or if it's even stuff that you've got Matterport tours or photos of. So that links through to our page, and you've got, and actually each of those suppliers on that wall, they all link through to their respective deals. So if I
want to, I'm talking to somebody and we're just entertaining, we're talking to them about Kerfuffle, and I wanted to say, actually, look, I'd recommend you having a look at Love to Move. We click on Love to Move, that goes straight through to a predefined. Well, look, we're looking at this on Kerfuffle, but this could be anywhere on an agent's own site, or indeed any resource online at all, couldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And the beauty is, as I say, you don't have to have the meeting, so people can still interact and learn about your business or your development or your brand without you being there. There's a few other important things before we leave this room. If you click on,
I don't want to leave, Tom.
This section of the room. So if you click on that house, it's just an example of the house icon
on the coffee table.
You can draw in. We've got a Matterport tour there. So that's our little office. So that's where it work. And again, if you had lots of Matterport tools already, or iSpray or any of those, then again you can just bring them in, and it's not a huge amount of effort for us to code in that kind of stuff.
So I'm now again in one layer down. I'm actually
this is Matterport.
Matterport, but inside DCVR, which in turn is inside DCTR, which is inside StreamYard and Kerfuffle.
I know. It's good.
So what do you call these guys? Are these things hooks, or the how do you describe these kind of action buttons that we're looking at?
Yeah, so we call them triggers. But so effectively buttons. So we can do whatever you want. So like Tom said, if you go to the telephone box, you can click on that WhatsApp button, and it will actually send a message to Tom if you have obviously WhatsApp set up on your laptop. But say if you're looking at this room on your phone, you can click the WhatsApp button by the telephone box. And you can send a message to Tom directly, because we've set up his number in that button.
So let me use that analogy before. We're having a sales meeting. Tom's he's not turned up. I could click into there, go WhatsApp and say, Tom, where the bloody hell are you?
Exactly. Where is he?
You can actually do that, yeah. I mean, it would be good if we got one of your team on there, because at the moment I'm an honorary member of Kerfuffle. But,
you telling me we're getting spammed all the time, mate.
Exactly. But you can integrate Facebook Messenger and a few others as well. So there's not really much of a limit with regards to what you can. I think we can also put Skype in there if you wanted. It's pretty cool.
But the main thing with these triggers is that so obviously we're doing a rendering of this, so all the lighting, the shadows, reflections, that's what relatively takes the time up that we're doing when we're modeling. But the triggers are almost instant. We can change the buttons in maybe like 10 minutes or so, and then re-upload onto the site. So you could, if you wanted to say, okay, let's change Tom's number to my number, I could then go back quickly and say 10 minutes and re-upload, and it will be already refreshed, ready to go. So that's what we can change quickly, instead of obviously the lighting and things like that. So that's what we think is really good, that we can adapt whilst it's live.
Yeah,
it's so smooth. I mean, I don't know whether that's just in terms of finding your way around, it couldn't be any more because I've done a few of these, obviously, in terms of different formats, and the experience has been quite tricky. You know, it's felt glitchy and everything else, whereas this feels quite smooth and natural, as you said there. Because what I mean, being honest, Tom and Becky, obviously, what you're thinking, just in terms of a couple of areas I'm thinking about is, does there's plenty of stuff that falls into the realms of being gimmicky, doesn't it? Or does it add something else? But this definitely has that connection, doesn't it? That does enable you to be able to stick digitally and retain your attention span better, because I think that's one of the biggest challenges, isn't it, of the digital world? A demonstration that you might take 2 hours, 3 hours face to face and have no problem with, if you're getting beyond half an hour when it's digitally, you've really got to struggle to keep people's attention.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's almost endless, the amount of interaction triggers that you can put in there, and that's what we feel keeps that attention. If you'd like to come round to the bar, I'll show you a few more things.
You don't have to ask me twice.
Is click on bar and it will take you round.
No, Tom, I'm having a good walk around. Let me have a look.
And for us, we just feel that it's a really nice opportunity with this product to build a lifestyle. So, for example, if you click on music, the little play button, it will play some music as you're going around, and we can link to anything as long as you've got.
Okay. Yeah.
Things like that. So if it's, for example, I don't know, there's some sort of theme to your new property or your brand, then having music there that reflects what you're trying to get across, I think really builds in another dimension that you can't get from other things.
The whole point there, Tom, isn't it? If you are in, by its definition, virtual reality, and being able to mimic all aspects of reality, whether that's visual or audio, is a key element of that, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I say, if you want the whole Inception thing, if you click on that little house to your right,
the right one,
I think that goes through to a cafe. So this is actually something we're building for a client at the moment. But the point is that, if this was a virtual marketing suite, then we can link to all the different properties that don't exist, and you can walk around each of those properties. It's not rendered properly. There you go. That's good. It will render. It will pop through. It's a bug of the day. Don't worry. But I think it's because it's through an iPhone. But yeah, it will work. You can walk around each of those properties within that virtual marketing suite space.
So Tom, actually the virtual marketing suite is in the middle of the bar. So that's the button in the middle, the house button in the middle of the bar. So hopefully this one is our virtual marketing suite.
Got you.
Let's hope that it renders okay, that it loads.
As I said, my laptop is due I'm just waiting for the new Apples to come out. But yes, okay, so we're in here now.
Not sure. Yeah, so if you had a little walk through,
if you click on lounge, Simon, in the top right it says lounge. Click on that. It will take you into this. Oh no, not lounge. Sorry, model room. That's the one. So there's a little model in the middle. If you walk forward, you'll see that little model in the middle. And you can imagine if it's a marketing suite, you've got that little 3D model, haven't you? Well, now we're going to do proper Inception and see what happens when you click house now. What's going to happen? I have no idea. So we're now in a model. Where you can walk around, that particular apartment. If you had like 4 or 5 of those, not rendered. There we go. But anyway, it will work.
You wouldn't do that,
Yeah, if you don't have a live stream at the same time as a video.
Okay.
You can walk around it.
I'll just close those down again, find you. So really all you're limited by, again, going back to that imagination point, is if it's a digital experience or a digital asset of any sort, they can be linked to. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Cool. Okay.
And of course, we've got 2 more things to show you before we go. So you can link to YouTube really easy. So we've got our little Kerfuffle podcast that we did with you last time, the webinar. So you know, you can in those big things. And there's a little secret behind that door that, you know, if you want to be a bit creative, Whaley. If you want to have
now we're really stressing the personalised element of this.
We still need to render the actual baked goods. We did.
You've teased me. You mean I can't get a vertical?
I know. I've let you down, but it's the end. But it'll happen. Don't worry, it'll happen.
Well, to be fair, they have closed down a few shops, so that's what it looks like.
It's representative of the lockdown at the moment, if I'm honest. So it'll come alive soon. The point is that, you know, we can model anything and we can link to anything. So that's why we like why we see a lot of value in what we've launched, is because it's creative and you can be as creative as you want. So if you're launching an eco development and you want a virtual marketing suite to represent that by being, in a log cabin with lots of fountains everywhere, then we can do that. And it's something that you can't create in the material world, but you can in the virtual world. And so that's what we'd love to do with it, basically.
So have you caught up with Kev Ellis on this, Tom? Obviously with his Land and New Homes network.
He might be aware. I haven't shown it to Kev yet.
Oh, well, that's a kerfuffle referral. I'm going straight to tell him he's got to look at this. This should be right up his street. Anyone who knows Land and New Homes.
There's one more view I think is probably important to show you, especially for new homes, for example, where you want to really show the place off. If you click top view, you're going to go flying.
If I did what? Top view? What was that?
Just in the right hand corner, top view.
So it's a nice sort of doll's house type 3D view, which you can
move it around. I'm just trying to move it around if you want to have a look. Okay.
Yeah. So you can see it from above, and that can be various floors which you can show. I mean, the other important thing to say is this is all interior. We can build exterior as well. So, if you wanted to show the outside of the house and the kind of the local sort of the street outside, then that can all be modelled.
There was one thing I didn't have a look at when I was in here, so I had a look. So that's it. What's this here? Mirror on the one of the best suppliers of them all. Let's have a look. And straight through into it, kerfuffle. Oh, that's great. Okay, you got me. That's really good. Okay, guys, and talking brass tacks, I don't know. Sorry, I've been so distracted by everything I've been looking at. If you haven't spoke about it, what is there ballpark pricing that you can put on this, or is it done on like a time and materials basis because each job is its own project? How does it work? Yeah,
so I guess if you're looking at it from a new homes perspective, I say that our pricing is between 75p and £1 per square foot. But equally, it really depends on what type of property it is. So actually, if it's fairly simple, it's all based on our modelling time that we're building it in. So it tends to work out about that. And if you to consider the price of still image renders within a house, say you were creating a lounge, a kitchen, a bedroom, and a bathroom, that's actually the same price. And with this, we can also render the still image from it. So you're getting effectively, for the same price as a series of still images, you're getting a VR experience. And that's the cool thing with it. And equally, we kind of sort of heavily discount the exterior render because we will have modelled already. So all the hard work of the modelling is done for VR. And so we can package it up into something that it's almost a no-brainer that you go for the DCTR because you're going to get all the still images that you would normally get anyway. In terms of offices and virtual marketing suites, so like I say, the first one is the thing that will cost a little bit more. So it could be, it depends on how wild and bespoke you want your marketing suite to be. Yeah, if it's a simple room, then it could just be, £1,000. But once you've created it, you can reskin it over and over. And actually, that's only a day's work, really, a day or 2 days' work. So, that it could be 300 or 400 quid to effectively reskin and have a new one each time you've got a new development. And that's the cool thing. And finally, for offices, if we were to reskin something like this, so we've already done the modeling, it's just the reskinning, then again, it's only really a day or two's work. So actually, it's again, I think, very affordable. It's just whether you want something completely bespoke in terms of the walls and the flooring and everything, then it's just really that modeling time that we'd have to look at how wild are you going? Is it going to be a castle and or I mean, is it going to be a boat because it's a coastal development and you want your marketing suite to be on a boat outside? Then all of that is possible.
Yeah.
We just need to work out how long it's going to take us to model, basically.
Well, you've blown my mind, and just to let the team are going to get so bored with me. Come on, we're back into the room. we're going to have some good meetings. I'll send you over some screenshots there. If anyone, I mean, I think the key thing to this, Tom, isn't it, it's how innovative people are going to be using it. You've provided if you like, the framework for this creativity and everything else. Going to be fascinating to see how people actually, when it gets out there in the wild, how they will find different ways of using this effectively.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is the beauty. It's all about creativeness of the brief and how creative we feel that the agent wants to push it, really, because that's where the beauty comes alive. Yes, we can just create a property, and that's great, but the more content that they can give us, if that's personalized content where they're welcoming people with videos and that kind of thing, then that's when it really comes alive, we feel. So. Yeah,
and absolutely, and whisper it quietly. Not everybody has that creativity.
Well, we can help you out with that bit. But if you say this is what I want, but you don't know how you're going to get there, we can help you get there. Basically,
so this shows how you've dealt with Kerfuffle. That is basically, I don't know how to get there. I just want it.
When we asked you what you wanted in your office, and we got a list of a table tennis, a recording studio. Yeah, we had a list, and then it's up to us to create that and make it something that's interesting.
I mean, just a couple of observations. We are a couple of layers down, as we're talking about now. We haven't had a break in it. Obviously, this is good. This is going to tempt fate, isn't it? But it's been absolutely consistent, hasn't it, all the way through in terms of the speed, the reliability, the consistency of the audio, and indeed the video off the back of it. So that bodes well, especially as it's hot off the press, isn't it? So that's fantastic. And actually, Tom, I mean, one of the things we should point out, you've been really, really kind again to come up with a deal for this, to people to test the water and get on board with for Kerfuffle members, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So for anyone that orders a DCVR, so that is a virtual marketing suite or a property, then we will create a virtual world for them. So rather like this Kerfuffle, for free, we'll create you a virtual world at the same time. This offer is only available during December.
That's right. Is it the first 10 as well, isn't it?
First 10, yeah.
First 10, yeah. Oh, good like that.
If 11, then, fair enough. But certainly, yeah.
It's Black Friday as well, so that's a classic Black Friday. So get on these people. That's a great deal to be at the absolute cutting edge of technology, but even creativity. So that's great. Nice. Really good.
It's important just to say, with this world, you can add this to your website really easily. So when someone goes to the About Us page, you can have a little, some pictures and some sentences, or you can also have a DCVR world where they can walk around and interact and see videos and get to know your office. So that's, we think, is the really cool thing, that you can. It's very versatile. Across social media and all that. So yeah,
it makes Zoom look like a dinosaur, doesn't it?
Good. Yeah, I like to think so.
Yeah. Oh God, I've got a Zoom call coming up next. I'm going to be like,
yeah.
Great. Great, no, it's absolutely fantastic. I feel like we've got to finish inside here rather than going back to the real world of StreamYard. So, guys, anything else to add to this? I think it's been fantastic. Thank you for mocking this up for us. It's absolutely great.
Bex, I think well done to Bex. This was Bex's
project.
Thank you, guys. No, it's been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed it. So I think looking forward to lots of different offices to come, hopefully.
Yeah, well, I think that's the main point, isn't it, as well, Tom? As much as we're talking about, a state agency here, the 600 suppliers on our lovely little website. This is the perfect place to entertain prior to a demonstration for you know, as we are doing at the moment when it's not face to face. Couldn't be any better.
Definitely. So there's no limit. You know, as I say, we can reskin the same space, which makes it a lot quicker. So we can create lots of individual spaces for lots of different suppliers. It's all possible.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, guys, anyone there got any ideas or anything else like that? First of all, if you've got ideas how you might use it, drop that into the Facebook comments, and we'll pass those on. As long as keep them clean. This is the problem. When you talk to our viewers, they can go a little bit left off piece. So keep it clean. Proper business ideas for it. And obviously, if they do want to talk to you guys, you can find you guys normal DCTR.co.uk. Yeah. And of course, you can get us on their wonderful landing page. Click on the lovely big pink contact us button, and we'll pass it on to Becky and Tom to make the magic happen. I think is the way we should talk about it, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's great,
guys. I almost said you've made my Friday. That's how you've taken me out of the real world. It's not quite Friday yet, but that's absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much for showing us that today.
No problem. Thanks a lot for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Congrats, guys. Bye-bye.